I'm in the I was wrong category. Because I can tell you, if being an adult means achieving emotional maturity, then I am pushing 40 and not an adult yet. But if it means like just having the freedom to make emotionally immature decisions, then I've been an adult since I was about 13. Because my parents sent me away to boarding school, like all the way across the country from LA and Connecticut, and I had quite a bit of freedom to just do what I wanted. So coming back to Los Angeles for college was such a strategic error on my part. My parents took that as if I was trying to fly frantically back into the nest, and they asserted themselves into like my every decision freshman year. What should I study? When should I study? How should I study? Oh, they had opinions. I was like, I used to smoke every day of high school behind the Friendlies in Connecticut, and you weren't there. But now, they care. So at the end of freshman year, having fought this battle and feeling exhausted, I probably was in need of some fun. So when my best friend Michael calls me at the very last day of finals and says, hey, I won tickets on a radio show to some taping of something, I don't know, it's like a karaoke show. Do you want to come? I'm like, oh yeah, I want to come. Heck yes, I want to come. It turns out it's American Idol. Which we'd heard people muttering the words Clay Aiken and Ruben Studdard around campus, so we weren't completely unprepared. We knew that we needed to like really plan for this to be an event. The both of us being underage, I being 17 and he being 18, we had to plan that in advance, because when you're young, when you want to make something momentous, what you mean is you want to be drunk, right? And I have a fake ID at the time that, due to a math error that I totally own as my own, says that I'm 36. I know I can't be the one purchasing liquor. So Michael finds somebody to grab us some whatever kids drink. I think it was like Smirnoff Ices and like Zimas. But we managed to do a really great pregame in the parking lot of Universal Studios Hollywood, where this is being filmed. And we're in that perfect place because we're assuming that there is no way they sell liquor inside the amphitheater. Okay. We get in there. Our seats are, contrary to what you'd expect from a radio contest, way up in the nosebleeds. I mean, you basically get altitude sickness from where we are. But at the same time, when we get up there and we get into our seats, the atmosphere is reverent, like you've just entered a church. People are heaving and sighing. They're quivering. They've got the spirit. They're very excited for this show. They definitely have opinions about Clay Aiken or Ruben Studdard, okay? They've put them helpfully on signs, and they have diamanted these signs to within an inch of being able to not carry them. They're so heavy. And we get freaked out by that. We're like, why are people so into this? We're like, we know the solution. Let's get some more alcohol, because it turns out they do sell it in there. Michael braves the whole thing. His ID says he's probably 24, which is an advantage. I give him that. 36. All right, fine. He comes back with 2 milk cartons full of wine. I can't imagine why. 1 red, 1 white. And as people beside us are literally falling into apoplectic fits of excitement, we smash those things, right? They're gone. The warm-up comic comes out, or so I think, he's very diminutive in stature. I know this. I can barely see him from where we are. But eventually I get a focus. I go, oh, that's Ryan Seacrest. Okay. Okay. That's the last thing I remember. I wake up, I come to when people are jostling me to get out of the row because the show's over. And to this day, I won't lie to you, I'm still not clear on who won. I think it's Clay Aiken, but then every once in a while somebody convinces me it's Ruben Studdard. So I remember being very polite, waiting for everybody to exit, and then calmly and in a very genteel manner making my way down the stairs towards the lobby. What the people who called the police said was that myself and my friend Michael were crawling on our hands and knees. It's debatable. What I do know is this: we were certainly upright enough at some point to notice the row of cops waiting for us, or thinking to ourselves, oh, this is not good, making a brief second of eye contact, and then, of course, deciding to go for a refreshing afternoon jog through Universal Studios Hollywood. I'm drunk. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm 17 years old, and I don't have a great tolerance, and I believe I am faster than the wind. I am passing the tram ride. Oh, there's King Kong. There's the Jaws, whatever. And I think I've not only lost this cop, but I'm worried I've lost my friend Michael, which means I don't have a ride home. So I pause just for a second to wait for him, very merciful of me. And the minute I stop moving, my stomach starts moving, and I start to projectile vomit all over the place, most notably all over the shoes and pants of the police officer who has very politely stood to wait next to me. I'm in trouble. I know that. I turn to him and I give him my most winning smile, which is the silliest thing I can think of because I must have been coated in vomit at the time, but I'm really trying to give him the glad eye. He puts the plastic cuffs on me that are requisite for the park and takes me to Children's Jail, which is Universal Studios backlot jail, which literally has cartoon characters painted on the walls. You couldn't convince me that was not a big deal, though. I was absolutely apoplectic because I knew this meant trouble, one way or another, with my parents. At first, it was a really delightful and beautiful reunion with Michael. We get shoved into a cell that's roughly the size of the inside of a ice cream truck. It's tiny, and we're sitting there, and we're having a nice time until we remember that we're in jail because they're looking through our wallets to figure out who we are. I mean, we gave them our names, but they may be right to not believe us because they find that I'm not 36 after all. They do find that Michael is 18, which means that he gets sent to real big kid jail. He goes to West Hollywood jail for the night. But you could not convince me at the time that that was the worst fate. I immediately, upon seeing him depart, go, oh God, they're gonna call my parents. I've spent this whole year trying to tell my parents that I can make my own terrible decisions, thank you. And they do. They're smart. They call my parents. I mean, I guess I gave them some tips by going, please don't call my parents. I will do anything. Just don't call him. But they do. And my dad shows up, and I change strategies immediately. I think, how about this? Life is a celebration. Let's all be glad that I'm alive, you're alive, things are okay. Things could have gone way worse here. Look, I got drunk, but I'm not dead, right? How do I choose to demonstrate that principle to my irate father? By opening the car door on the freeway. I have my seatbelt on, but I don't think he's really noticing the nuances of this move. So he pulls to the side of the road and in evil but also totally understandable parent style, calls the police again. Now, I've already done my time. You want me back, you're gonna have to catch me probably dead, maybe alive. I go off for another early evening stroll this time into the brambles on the side of the freeway. I hide in the underbrush for 2 hours, or I think I'm hiding. I'm wearing a neon pink sweater at the time. until I really need to pee. I guess some part of me was very convinced that, like, this was a domestic squabble. I was just a drunk girl. There's no way they're going to send cops for me. I was wrong. Once I really have to pee, I decide, okay, I'm coming back up. There are 7, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 cop cars, all with their lights on, waiting for me in a line. But I'm drunk. I choose not to believe reality. I decide to walk past them as if they're here for someone else. I'll tell you what, they are pretty funny, those guys, and they have a good sense of humor because they let me get 6 cars and very confident before lucky number 7. Where they slapped the handcuffs on me again, and oops, I'm in trouble. You know, some people say they know why the cage bird sings. I know why the cage bird in this scenario was screaming off her rocker. She was drunk. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you.